Welcome to the True Hunt. Today we have got Dr. Ashok Rattan with us, who is the chairman of the medical committee in Redcliffe Labs, and he has been a laboratory director with WHO, and he's going to speak on the updates of COVID-19. As we have heard that lots and lots of things are coming from China, and there are 3 cases also updated for BF7, which is a variant of COVID-19. And my question, of course, with the COVID-19 updates, please give a light on that and how the things are working and how the things have changed in today's time related to COVID-19.
Last year around this time, that Omicron made its appearance in South Africa. And it was noticed that Omicron, unlike the previous ones, were very mild. But it would not make the person so sick that they have to be hospitalized, and the deaths also decreased. So in a way, it was thought to be like natural vaccination of the population, and we felt that now the worst is over. Now, in the last 1 month or so, there has been appearance in the newspapers about large outbreaks in China. Unfortunately, no scientific definitive information is available, and you cannot just depend upon what happens, what has been reported in the newspapers. So we should be cautious. At the same time, seeing or hearing about the spike in China and in Japan and elsewhere, we should be prepared that should a new wave strike us, then this time at least, it should not find us wanting as it did when Delta wave struck us. So I think I must compliment the ministries and everybody for being active. But I think they should have taken a step back and analyze what went wrong in the past and not to make the same mistakes again. It's very clear that the virus is highly infectious. Even BF7 or as initially it was B5 and the variant BF7 is a variant of B5 lineage. Now that has been around in India for at least a month and 3 cases have been reported. But if it is highly infectious as they claim, that is RO is 18, so one infection will infect 18 persons, then it should have spread like wildfire. That in India it hasn't spread, though it's been there for more than a month, would mean that in Indian scenario, it may not, at least BF7 may not pose a problem. But I would have thought the first thing would have been to replace RT-PCR with a rapid LAMP test, as well as make arrangement for isolation. What you need is a test which could be done at site, which could have visual readout, which doesn't need equipment. So LAMP test was the ideal test. And I'm told that many companies have it ready, but they have still not launched because now nobody is interested in testing for COVID.
So there's been a lot of drills going on related to COVID-19 so that the situations can be tackled in a much better manner. Sir, and you're speaking about some new test system and how the drills can match up with this test system and they can include it at their part so that it makes it more easier. Because what I'm getting from your words that this test is more accurate, more effective than the past RT-PCR. Anything would you like to say in this combination?
I think from the tests that were carried out at various ICMR approved centers, LAMP test, which stands for loop mediated amplification, is done at one temperature and it can be read in 20 minutes time by naked eye. Sometimes it needs a handheld device where you take the sample and put it inside and in 20 minutes time. So that means you must have a place for holding the person for 20 minutes. Omicron is mild infection. Though if a person is severely immunocompromised, even mild infection can tilt the balance against the person. We need to be careful. We don't know too much about it. So it is better to be cautious. There is nasal vaccination which has been approved. So that should be fast-tracked. If you have a nasal vaccine, which the public can, only 4 drops are to be applied in both the nostrils and the second dose to be given after 1 month. So the sooner we start vaccinating with the nasal vaccine, the better it will be. A nasal vaccine will be very useful in this situation.
Sir, mock drills are happening as it is in news. What do you think from your perspective, this system, what test you are also telling about the LAMP test, can be a part of that mock drill so that the awareness is spread out that this thing should be done, should be conducted, so that the test happens more quicker and faster with the reports, and the action plan will be more faster as well?
See, that is why we should have actually had a post-mortem of what we did in controlling the Delta wave or where we fell short. And mob drill should have a checklist, making sure that we don't make the same mistakes.
Seeing the situation now, we have dealt with a big COVID. It was a pandemic all over. No doubt the world was suffering. But now the situation in India, we are better in the terms of healthcare. We have learned from our past experiences. What would you like to say if putting an light in all medical system all throughout India?
I think it has shown that we have to collaborate. We have to cooperate. Everybody needs to do their part. It is not only one group which must be charged with the responsibility. So each one of us to do our part, we must cooperate when a person holds us in isolation rather than trying to run out through the back door and mingle with persons. It also means that we should be cautious and wear masks when we are in public, not gather too much. At the same time, let science drive the thing rather than panic.
Now, the healthcare system in India, in the newspaper reports as well, we have improved a lot. We are building our infrastructure closely, seeing the health conditions, what the COVID has taught. So, are you agreeing with that?
I think we moved forward. The public's mood has changed. Decision makers have been very quick and they've been very responsive. Private persons have also played a role. And I think overall the cooperation has been very good.
What about Redcliffe? How they are playing a role towards tuberculosis with the testing and all that? Anything would you like to say about the lab you are associated with?
We are ready to launch a system which will help in eradication. It is actually consisting of a computer-aided diagnosis test, which is an X-ray, which will then determine whether a person has lung infection. Then that infection will be tested for the presence of Mycobacterium tuberculosis, as well as sensitivity to INH and rifampicin. And that will come in the same day. By the evening, we should be able to say whether the person has TB and INH and rifampicin sensitive. I hope this COVID should be tested for COVID and influenza. And once that is all, that fear is gone, then we move on to the real disease which is killing many Indians and making them less productive, that is tuberculosis, and get rid of tuberculosis too.
This was Dr. Ashok Rattan with us, who has thrown a light on the COVID-19 scenario. Thank you so much, sir.